Get set, go.
Assalamu alaikum. So today, myself, Naif Al-Saud, Ahmed Khawashki, Abdelaziz Hadri and Rayan Ghazal would like to talk to you about ATP. When you wake up in the morning, you go to the bathroom, wash up, shower, brush your teeth, get ready for your daily tasks, like running, jogging, walking, whatever. But sometimes when you perform certain tasks, you feel that they're much harder than you were used to them before. Likewise, sometimes you might feel that certain tasks are done much easier. Why is that? Well, the answer is energy. The more energy you have, the more work you can perform. The less energy you have, the less work you can perform. So energy is the amount of work you can perform is directly proportional to the amount of energy you have. Now, humans obtain energy by eating food. When we consume food, we get the molecule that we need to obtain energy, which is ATP. Your body breaks up ATP to gain energy, but more on that later. So now we talked about how humans obtain energy. What about other organisms? So as you can see here, there are two different types of organisms in obtaining energy. The first types are the autotrophs. These organisms make their own food, which in turn means that they produce their own energy. However, there are other types of organisms which are called heterotrophs. These organisms cannot produce their own food. Therefore, they have to consume on the food produced by autotrophs to gain the energy they need. So as I mentioned before, energy is the ability to do work. Without energy, your body cannot function properly. It cannot do the simplest tasks you need to do. Therefore, you would probably die if you don't have the amount of energy that you need. Now I will leave you with Rayan Ghazal to talk to you about metabolism.
Assalamu alaikum. Today I will talk to you about metabolism. Any chemical reaction in a cell is considered the cell's metabolism. When there is a process where the substrate of the first reaction is the product of the other, this is called a metabolic pathway. A metabolic pathway is cut into two broad types, Anabolic pathway and Catabolic pathway. The Catabolic pathway breaks down large molecules into smaller molecules, thereby releasing energy, which is later on used by the Anabolic pathway, which takes smaller molecules using the energy, which makes them into larger molecules. Types of these are photosynthesis and cellular respiration, where cellular respiration breaks down large molecules, and photosynthesis makes larger molecules from smaller molecules. And now I'll leave you with my friend Ahmed Khawashki.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Ahmed Khawashki, and today I'll talk about ATP. Have you ever wondered what's the cellular unit for energy? Well, ATP, also called adenosine triphosphate, is the cellular unit for energy, and is responsible for most chemical reactions. ATP is made out of three main components: adenine base, 3 phosphate groups, and ribose sugar. As you can see here in this graph, we have the structure of ATP, which consists of adenine, ribose, and 3 phosphate groups. When ATP reacts with water, the bond between the second and the third phosphate group breaks, forming ADP, which is called adenosine diphosphate. Adenosine diphosphate is made out of 2 phosphate groups instead of 3 like the ATP. When ADP reacts with water, AMP forms, which is called adenosine monophosphate, which consists only of 1 phosphate group, which differs from the ADP that has 2 phosphate groups, and the ATP, which has 3 phosphate groups. And up next we have a video which can increase your knowledge about ATP.
There's some, put the mic on.
Now take a look at this guy. He's preparing for a big match. He's been training, he's been exercising, and doing everything he needs to get ready for that big day. But the question is, how does he get this energy? Well, part of the answer has to do with a small molecule with a big name. And that molecule is adenosine triphosphate, or you can call it ATP for short. A, you see the A representing adenosine, and you can see three P's representing three phosphate groups. ATP is a molecule in a cell that allows for quick and easy access to energy when needed by the cell's organelles. In other words, this is the energy currency of the body. When the cell needs energy, it gets it from ATP. It's a type of chemical energy in that it releases energy when the chemical bonds are broken. When the bond is broken between two phosphate groups, that releases energy. Let's take a look at how exactly this happens in the cell. Here we have a process, and as you can see, it's in desperate need of some energy. Fortunately, there's ATP that comes along, and when that ATP comes to the process, it breaks the bond between two phosphate groups and donates one phosphate to that process or that protein, or whatever it is that needs that energy. When this happens, the process gets the energy that it needs, and it can then do whatever task it needs to accomplish. Let's get rid of this process for now. And now you can see we are left with two phosphate groups, so it's no longer ATP, it's ADP, or adenosine diphosphate. If you want to use this molecule again, we need to recharge it as we would do for a rechargeable battery. In order to do this in the cell, we need a very special organelle called the mitochondria. ADP then goes to the mitochondria, and the ADP gets recharged by the mitochondria adding another phosphate on, and it's now ATP again. So whatever you're doing, whether you're preparing for a big match or just going for a jog, playing some football, or even just spending time with that special someone in the park, it does take energy, and that energy is provided by ATP.
So as you can see, the video crashed. So in case you didn't understand what was going on, basically ATP has three phosphate groups. To obtain energy, one of the phosphate groups is broken from the ATP, which releases the energy that was used to hold the two bonds together. So that's basically how your body obtains energy. Thank you for your time, and
Step down, please. MashaAllah, Tabarakallah. To start with. Naif, Rayyan, Ahmed, and the fourth guy, Abdul Aziz. Tick marks to all of you. Rayyan, where's Rayyan? Practice wearing a smile, okay? Other than the smile, you were perfect. All of you were perfect, mashallah. As I was saying, from the first couple of seconds, the moment you open your mouth to utter a word, we can tell whether you've been busy working or just cruising, okay? You did your homework, okay? So I congratulate you. I think Mr. Naim, you'd like to add something?
The scientific information were excellent. When you were presenting it, it shows that you understand it marvelously. But one point, try to reduce the text in the slides. For example, when you were talking about autotrophs and heterotrophs, the audience will not be able to read it. And you can say what you said, but use maybe two pictures or a diagram or anything to show that we have the autotrophs and the heterotrophs. This is one example. And try to emphasize on the names, maybe in the graph or something, okay? But for the video, inshallah, next Thursday, there's the event. You will be, inshallah, presenting on your table. You will get, I think, your own laptop, so the video will work and it will not crash. Okay, excellent.